I really want us to address this.
What is this?
This isn't a hate comment, but we need to address it. You guys asked us what things we wish we knew, what things we now regret after having our beautiful baby.
This is going to be deep.
Is there anything you wish you did different during your single season?
I would say travel to Europe, because we've wanted to travel to Europe since forever. But if you don't know the story, Jess, in the process of trying to get her residency here, it was 2.5 years after we got married and she couldn't leave the country. She couldn't even go back to her home in Australia. Then that finally happened. She got it. We went back to Australia for a little bit. We basically went back twice in the span of like 6 or 7 months, and then COVID hit. So then we couldn't travel again for another 1.5 years. We were finally able to travel to Australia, and soon after that, Jess fell pregnant, and now it's just more difficult to travel with an 8-month-old.
So I read this as single, because it's during your single season. I read it as single.
What would I have wanted to do in my single season?
All right.
Probably went on more dates.
Sometimes I think it would be fun if I had experienced living out of the house, because I went from my parents' house to living with my husband. And I think maybe like moving out for a little bit or living with my sister or my best friend, I think that would be really fun.
How are you supposed to know though? Like you were still so young when we got married?
I did not think I was going to get married at 20.
Yeah, we got engaged like 2 months after you turned 20.
What are we doing?
Oops.
Is taking care of a newborn terrifying?
Not anymore. At the beginning, it definitely was. I remember the first day Micaiah was born, we're sitting there trying to figure it out. You're like, I can't go to sleep. The baby's going to die.
Yep. And something really interesting that we didn't even know is that in Australia, they don't let the partners stay with you overnight. So she was born and Gabe had to leave me after like once visiting hours were closed. And I just remember being sad and nervous. I barely got any sleep because I was like literally checking she was breathing the whole time.
I barely got any sleep either because I left at like 11 when I had to leave. Visiting hours start at 5 a.m. So then I woke up at like 4 in the morning. And then just rush back to the hospital. It
is kind of terrifying though. Like there's definitely an anxiety that comes along with it of like not wanting to do anything wrong and not wanting like anything to happen to them. Mm-hmm. But there's also like parental instincts. I feel like you just like know what to do and like you know how to take care of them.
That's true. But I think your first baby, it's definitely way more terrifying. Like the second one,
I'm still gonna be freaking out.
But it's different. Like I know that if the baby's asleep, I know that I can sleep and not have to worry, and that I'll wake up if he cries. You know.
Do you feel that your life ended socially when you had a baby?
No. Guys, we are so social now.
Sorry, we are so popular.
Guys, I'm so sorry that we have so many friends.
I think that is a pretty common assumption. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess it's half true. We don't have time every day to like hang out with our friends. If you remember when we lived in LA and we just had like our friends come over all the time.
Yeah, it's different like during the week. She goes down at like 6:30 and then we only have like a little bit of time before we need to go to sleep.
We're trying to get in bed at 8:30.
We're trying to wake up at like 5:30, 5:45 so we can have like 45 minutes to an hour before she wakes up. But on the weekends, we're seeing people, hang out after church and all that sort of stuff, have people over for dinner. So like it's social, but in a different way. It's less freedom, if that makes sense.
Less
No. I would say less spontaneous is the word I was trying to say, not less freedom. That in my sentence didn't even, I was homeschooled.
That in my sentence.
That in my sentence did not make sense again. It's just different. Like you kind of have to plan that out far in advance.
We have found such great community that are also first-time parents with kids under 1 year old.
Exact same stage of life as us.
And so that was really aggressive.
Like exact same stage of life.
We all understand that we can't just...
Excuse me.
Everyone understands. So we see each other at church. We'll go do like a park date, but I feel like it's such a sweet stage of our social life. Mm-hmm. Can the partner help 50-50? People have told me their men kind of feel useless at the start. Did you feel useless at the start?
I felt useless in terms of helping with the baby specifically, but as a dude, you have to focus on like, how can I help my wife / the mom, not so much how can I help the baby, because it's true, there's not a whole lot you can do. Like you can't breastfeed and the baby's just like automatically so connected to the mother compared to the dad, so you need to focus on like providing things for the mom so she can provide for the baby, if that makes sense, at least for the first few months. I did help though, more than I'm making it seem in this scenario then.
Like I did
like
help.
I was like
us.
It was kind of like 75 on my part, 75%.
So what I want to say about this is that the partner can do so much more than you think. Even like connecting with the baby, like having skin to skin time and just like having them kind of sleep on your chest.
Diaper change.
If the baby's taking formula.
If you have like pumped breast milk.
Yeah. Take some of the feedings. Like, I wouldn't say it's 50-50 in the beginning, but you definitely like did as much as you could to help.
Yeah. And you just kind of have to like work through the best ways of being able to help in your situation as a couple, and kind of like learning and experiencing with each other, and just kind of like being there and available and open to help how you can and where you can.
Did you ever feel alone/isolated once you had Micaiah? I have a 3-week-old and struggling. Yes. Do you remember my day? I think it was my day 4 when I broke down.
Yes.
Question mark?
I mean, do I remember day 4 exactly? No. Do I remember that you broke down at one point? Yeah.
It does get easier. For me, I think it was like hormones. I was engorged. Breastfeeding was hard. I wasn't getting any sleep. It's like everything piling on top of each other. And it's just very normal to like feel like that. So for me, it was the day that I had to go back to the hospital because 1, I thought my stitches had ripped open,
day.
and 2, I had one massive like engorgement that was so bad.
That was so rough. Oh my gosh.
And I just started crying because I was like, I need to go back to hospital, but I don't want to leave Micaiah. I don't want to leave you.
I'm like grabbing my boob, just remembering like how painful it looked with your engorged Tita.
Yeah, it was rough. I think also for me, during the night, it felt lonely because you're just pretty sleep deprived, and like you weren't always getting up when I was feeding. So it was like I felt like I was doing this by myself. So it is very normal, but it does get easier. I really want us to address this.
What is this?
This isn't a hate comment, but we need to address it.
What is it?
Did you find it hard to give Milo attention when Micaiah was born? Do you think you give him less now? Let's just talk.
Let's just air out the dirty laundry.
Because, and I think it comes from a good place, people are really concerned about Milo. And he gets so much love. Like,
he is the most spoiled dog.
We still take him on walks. We still play fetch with him. We still cuddle him. And now it's even sweeter because Micaiah plays with him. And,
that's so cute. Yeah.
He will go drop off a ball at her and then she'll pick it up. It's so sweet. But of course, it is harder. Like, we have a full baby now, so it's not like all my time can be like focused around this dog. But he's doing good. I just like need to address that he's good.
All you guys need to chill in the comments talking about that we hate our dog now. That's a lie. You guys all spreading rumors right now.
We'll like get comments being like, Milo's really sad right now, or like, oh, Milo feels left out because he's not in this picture. And it's like, guys, he's just laying on the couch right next to us.
He's not in this picture.
Like, he's fine. He's just taking a nap.
Dude, he really cares about it on Instagram, let me tell you.
Did you sleep train Micaiah?
Ding, ding, ding.
No, we didn't.
What?
So we didn't sleep train, we nap trained.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
She has always been a pretty good like night sleeper. She started sleeping through the night pretty early on. We had to change some things during her 4-month sleep regression, and then she needed some help with her naps, like making them longer. We took taking care of babies, and that's all. Taking care of babies, full stop. Helped us so much. Do you now wish you would have wanted kids earlier?
Boring. Oh, sorry. Theoretically, yes, given that our circumstances were different with what we explained before, with not being able to see your family for a long time and traveling and all that sort of stuff. I just don't think we were ready for it until we were set with like kind of where we were going to be. When we talk about it circumstantially, it makes sense that we had Micaiah when we did.
Totally.
If we talk about it like just strictly age, we probably could have had a kid sooner.
Yeah, and in terms of like, we were married for 5 years before we had a baby. We definitely could have had a baby earlier, but no, like selfishly, I wanted that time, just us. And I think like if we had wanted kids earlier, then it wouldn't have been Micaiah.
Yeah, that is weird to think about.
Yeah, must have products for traveling with a baby. We have the Duna stroller, and that can be taken on the plane.
It's pretty elite. The handle like folds up so it can like hold it on top, and then the wheels fold into itself.
To transformer.
To transform into a little car seat thing.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a game changer.
The other thing that I would say is like taking a bottle, whether it is pumped milk or formula, whether it's for takeoff and landing or just like to comfort them, we are learning the hard way that we needed a bottle.
Bring multiples.
Bring bottles.
Bring spares. Because then it's like, oh, there's a delay on the tarmac and you actually lined it up poorly because it was supposed to take off when she was going to feed, but now you're sitting on the runway for an hour longer than you were supposed to, so then she was hungry anyway and you had to feed her before you take off, and now the bottle that you were going to feed her is now gone. Now you're trying to figure out how you can help her because her ears are going to hurt and scream when you guys take off into the sky an hour late.
Hypothetically.
The hypothetical scenario that totally didn't happen like 2 weeks ago.
Are you guys thinking of having more or less kids now that Micaiah is here? Should we answer at the same time?
Yeah, ready? 3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
More
Kids.
More children.
We're both not set on a number. Before Micaiah, we were like 2 might be nice. Like that'd be really good for traveling. Now I think 3.
I was more like on the more than you train.
Yeah. But I think since having her, I'm like, this love is so crazy, and raising a baby is just like the best thing in life. My heart is so full that I'm like, of course I want more. This is really cute. As someone who dreams of being a mum, is it everything your heart wanted?
I think it's more.
It's more for me for sure.
It's definitely more. What's the weird thing is like I'm saying this knowing that I haven't even experienced like 95% of it just because she's still so young.
I know.
Like we haven't even experienced a birthday with her yet.
Or
and like
her
just
talking to us. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when she starts talking to us,
We're like so cheesy. We're like, oh, how amazing is she?
we have the best daughter in the world.
She's really advanced, by the way.
Yeah, the most talented and smartest.
How did you find time for each other in the beginning? I'm really missing quality time with my significant other. We would watch TV at night. We were so exhausted that that's like all we could do was like sit on the couch next to each other. We went on our first date, I think when she was 3 weeks old. My parents looked after her for a couple hours. That was really nice.
But it's something like that you kind of have to like plan and prep into your routine, like whether it's consistent babysitting or something like that. I know that's like tough for like really newborn babies.
Yeah, just like understand in the first couple of weeks, it's just going to be like that. Like you just have to be at home getting settled in this new like life.
But just like do your best.
Quality time is my main love language, but I felt loved from you when you allowed me to, like, this sounds silly, but literally brush my teeth. If you even brought me food or something like that, like I think in those first couple of weeks, that's what's really important, is just like intentionality. When you don't have the time for quality time, just still try to like love on them in different ways. Did having Micaiah change wanting another baby sooner or the opposite? So do we now want a baby sooner or longer?
3, 2, 1.
Longer.
The same.
Yeah, maybe the same. I mean, I think Gabe would probably like to have a baby sooner than I would because him and his brother are really close together.
I don't want to be as close. Like if that was the case, you would have been pregnant.
I'd be pregnant
3 months ago.
Yeah, I'd be pregnant right
Yeah,
now.
you'd be entering your second trimester.
Which I'm not. I want this time with Micaiah, like just us with Micaiah, a little bit longer. But then I know as soon as we have another baby, it'll be like, this feels right. And like, of course, why would I want them not to be in our life? What's the most helpful thing for me to do when my bestie has her baby? I love this question.
Spend some time hanging out with her. Not asking her out somewhere. Like just go to her and say like, hey, I want to spend time with her, and then bringing her food.
Yes.
Cooking in those first few weeks is like impossible.
It seems like such a simple thing, but why couldn't I not even get a banana from the kitchen? Like it's so hard. Take your bestie breakfast. We wouldn't eat until like 1 o'clock or something.
Yeah,
Bring
it's pretty
food.
crazy.
Go to her house, say like, hey, where's the baby's laundry? Like, let me just throw in a load. Can I hold your baby so you can go pee or like brush your teeth? Anything like that. What was something you thought you knew but got very wrong?
How much free time I had before having a baby. I thought that I was like, man, I'm like tapped for time right now. Like things are busy. Have a baby, dude.
Yeah.
You got to get those schedules on lock.
I watched a couple videos and like really researched breastfeeding, and I was like, I spent the time to like look it up. I watched videos on how to latch. This is going to be good. I was so wrong. Breastfeeding is so hard. The amount of videos and research you do, like still do it, but at some point for me, it like didn't matter because you have to experience it and see like how you and your baby go together. And that was definitely, I like got that wrong. Did Gabe feel prepared for the birth, or are there things he wished he had known before?
I felt prepared.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, I had been in the room when my other 2 younger siblings were born, and I was 6 and 9 at the time. So like I kind of understood, distant memory, but I understood what childbirth was kind of going to be like.
Honestly, when I think back, I think my labor and delivery went so quick that there wasn't like a lot of time for you to just be like helping me with, you know, pressure points or whatever. Like you really didn't have time to do any of that.
It was so fast.
You ran to park the car, you came back and I was pushing. And it just happened so fast.
Dude, that was the quickest labor.
It was. Do you have any regrets? I have one.
What?
I think before having a baby, a lot of our life was just working. I'm really proud of what we have done and what we built and like how hard we worked. But now looking back, I'm like, we should have traveled more. I'm not saying that we didn't have fun at all. Like we traveled to Australia, we went to New York, like we went to fun places, but I just feel like we were working.
I'm proud of how hard we worked. I'm not proud of how much we worked.
Go on.
Having a baby really is the best. I feel like it took a solid like 5 or 6 months for it to fully set in, I guess, for my identity as a dad to be like, I'm a dad and this is my daughter.
Yeah.
But now every week it's just like a new level of love. It keeps going higher and higher, and like the blocks are being stacked.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
If you want to hear us talk a little bit more about this kind of stuff, you should click the video that's on Jess's face right now. Bye.